order the Shire of East Pilbara Ordinary Council meeting 2 May 2025, held in the Newman Council Chambers, which I declare open at 10:30am. I commence today's meeting by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Nyabali people. May we pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. May I ask everyone present to turn off and refrain from using their mobile phones for the duration of the meeting. Tablets and laptops are permitted for the purpose of accessing agenda items and notes. I advise all those in attendance of this meeting as being audio recorded, which can be accessed by members of the public and the media, and council members should refrain from making any defamatory statements. The meeting is also being live streamed, a recording of which will be available on the Shire's YouTube channel and website. Members of the public are advised that anyone, there is none, but I'll continue anyway, lodged with the Shire of East Pilbara must obtain and should only rely on written confirmation of the outcome of the application and any conditions attached to the decisions made by the Shire of East Pilbara in respect to the application. For item 2, we have had a request by Councillor Peter Bear to join the meeting by electronic means, which I've approved as a presiding member in this meeting in accordance with Regulation 14C of the Local Government Administration Regulations of 1996. The record of attendances, apologies and leave of absence, all councillors except for Councillor Chapman and Councillor Landy at this stage, unless they went later, and the executive team are there with Shire officers. 3.2 is nil apologies at this stage, and 3.3 is nil leave of absence. Disclosures of interest for item 4. Are there any disclosures of interest to be made in relation to any of the day's agenda items, councillors? Nope. On to item 5. The declaration by council members have given due consideration to all matters contained in the business papers before the meeting. Start with Councillor Brooks.
I have given due consideration to all matters contained in the business papers before this meeting.
Councillor Anderson.
I've given due consideration to all matters contained in the business papers before this meeting.
Councillor Everett.
I have given due consideration to all matters contained in the business papers before the meeting.
Councillor Cooler.
I've given due consideration to all matters contained in the business paper before the meeting.
Councillor Peter Bear. Lou Lockyer, sorry.
I've given due consideration to all matters contained in the business papers before the meeting.
And Councillor Peter Bear.
I've given due consideration to all matters contained in the business paper.
Thank you very much, and I too have given due consideration to all matters contained in the business papers before this meeting. Rolling on to item 6, response to previous questions taken on notice. There is none. There is no public question time. No petitions, deputations or presentations under item 8. Rolling into item 9, applications for leave of absence. Is there any?
I would be away for the July meeting. I think it's on the 25th, so I'd like to notify that I will be absent on the 25th of July.
Okay, are there any other further requests before we proceed?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if the July meeting, the July meeting is in Punmu, would we have phone-in availability? Okay. If that's the case, I'll still be able to attend via Teams. I just can't be there in person.
Potentially me too. So we'll see what happens. Yep.
You'll be up, Andy.
We'll see. Okay, so can I please get a mover and a seconder for the leave of absence to be granted for Councillor Cooler for the July 2025 meeting? Mover, please. Councillor Brooks, thank you. Seconder.
Sorry, can we go back?
Oh.
Silly me, I wrote the wrong date down. I need to request a leave of absence for the 30th of May this month.
30th of May, right. Okay, so we'll put both of them together. That's okay. Yep. Cool. So leave of absence for Councillor Cooler for July meeting and Councillor Lockyer for the 30th of May meeting. Still happy to, yes, thank you. Councillor Brooks, seconder. Councillor Everett, thank you. Now put that one to the vote. All those in favour? Show of hands, please. Councillor Bear, thank you. All for and none against. It's carried. Nitty-gritties. 10.1, minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on 28 March 2025 being circulated and published on the Shire's website, where the officer's recommendation reads that the OCM of the ordinary and confidential minutes of the ordinary council meeting of 28 March 2025 be published on the Shire's website. Council Porter be confirmed as true and correct. Record of proceedings. Can I get a mover? Councillor Anderson, thank you. Councillor Brooks is seconder. Are there any further changes that councillors are requiring? Thank you. All those in favour, show of hands, please. Thank you. All for and none against. Moving on to the members' reports. Any written reports will be included in the minutes. Are there any further members' reports for this meeting?
Yes, please. Two further reports. I've had a conversation with a ratepayer about the lack of expediency of which applications for planning, or for not for planning, for a building application was executed. It has been executed now, and their concerns for how expedient their next building application might or might not be, and also their concerns at the length of time it took for a swimming pool to be approved, and some of the requirements that were requested in that swimming pool application that ended up not being needed, but it was considerable expense to the party in making that happen. So that was over planning issues. The person did also mention a concern that I had put in writing about some road grading that they had done. Another ratepayer rang me as recently as yesterday in concern with maintenance grading as opposed to grading of private roads on stations and recovery grading, and they're wanting to know when the maintenance grading on some of the local roads would be happening. And they segued into some concerns over station driveway access grading and station airport grading. So those are two ratepayer ones that I will confirm in writing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other further reports? Oh. Item 12.1.1, the new policy, council policy framework, where the recommendation reads the council adopts the council policy development framework attached as Appendix 1. A mover, please. Councillor Everett, thank you. Seconder. Councillor McWhirter-Brooks, thank you. The mover like to speak?
Not at all.
Thank you. Councillor McWhirter-Brooks is the seconder.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Does any other council member wish to speak? Excellent. Put this to the vote, please. All those in favour? Thank you. All for and none against. 12.1.2, the monthly list of accounts, where the recommendation reads the council adopts a monthly list of accounts policy attached as Appendix 1 to the report. Mover, please. Yep. Councillor Anderson, thank you. Seconder, Councillor McWhirter-Brooks. Either of you like to speak?
No, thank you.
No, thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Hey, show of hands, please. All those in favour? Thank you. All for and none against. 12.1.3, the award of the title of Honorary Freeman of the Shire of East Pilbara policy, where the recommendation reads the council accepts the review and adopts the renamed award of Freedom of the Shire East Pilbara policy attached as Appendix 1 to this report. Mover? Councillor McWhirter-Brooks. Seconder, Councillor Lockyer. Thank you. Either of you wish to speak?
No, thanks. No, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Show of hands, please. All those in favour? All for, none against. Thank you. (12.1.4) the designated senior employees policy. The council accepts the review and revokes the designated senior employees policy as Appendix 1 to this report. Mover? Thank you. Councillor Cooler. Seconder? Councillor Anderson. Councillor Cooler, you wish to speak?
No, nothing to add, thanks.
Councillor Anderson?
No, thank you.
Anybody else? Show of hands, please. All those in favour? Thank you. All for, none against. 12.1.5, the status of council decisions. That council notes the report. Mover, please. Councillor McWhirter-Brooks, thank you. Seconder. Councillor Anderson. Councillor McWhirter-Brooks, you wish to speak?
Nothing to add, thanks.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Show of hands, please. Those in favour? All in the chambers. And Councillor Bear, thank you. All for and none against. 12.1.6, affixing the common seal under delegated authority. That councillors note the report. Mover, please. Councillor McWhirter-Brooks, thank you. Seconder. Councillor Kula. Either you wish to speak?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Anybody else? Show of hands, thank you. And in favour? Thank you. All for and none against. 12.2.1. Apologies. Notice of intention to levy differential rates 2025-26, where the office recommendation reads that Council 1, in accordance with section 6.363A of the Local Government Act 1995, endorses the statement of objects and reasons for 2025-26 rating year as Appendix 1 of this report. 2, in accordance with section 6.361 of the Local Government Act 1995, gives local public notice of its intention to impose the differential rates and minimum charges for 2025-26, detailed in the agenda, in accordance with the 2025-26 Statement of Objects and Reasons. 3, authorise the Chief Executive Officer to publish the 2025-26 Statement of Objects and Reasons on the Shire's website and to make it available for inspection at the Newman and Marble Bar Administration offices. 4, invite submissions to be made by elector or ratepayer with respect to the proposed rate or minimum payment and any other related matters within 21 days of the notice. And 5, we'll consider all submissions received before imposing the proposed rates or minimum payments with or without modification. A mover, please. Councillor Lockyer, seconder. Councillor McWhirter-Brooks. Councillor Lockyer, you wish to speak?
No, thanks.
Councillor McWhirter-Brooks.
No, thank you.
Anybody else? Show of hands, please. All those in favour? Thank you. All for and none against. 12.2.2, the budget amendments, where the officer's recommendation reads that Council accepts the review of and revokes the budget amendment policy attached as Appendix 1. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor McWhirter-Brooks. Seconder, please. Councillor Anderson. Councillor McWhirter-Brooks, you wish to speak?
No, thanks.
Councillor Anderson.
No, thank you.
Anybody else? Show of hands, please. Favour? Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Bear. That is carried, all for and none against. 12.2.3, where the officer's recommendation reads, the council accepts the review and adopts the revised accounting for non-current assets policy, attaches Appendix 1. Mover? Councillor McWhirter-Brooks. Seconder? Councillor Everett, thank you. Councillor McWhirter-Brooks.
Nothing to add.
Councillor Everett.
No, nothing to add, thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Show of hands, please. Those in favour? Thank you. All for and none against. 12.2.4, the monthly financial statements, insurance and investment reports as at 31 March 2025, where the recommendation reads the council adopts the monthly financial statements for the period ending 31 March 2025 of the 2024-25 financial year, including appendices 1 and 2 to the report. Mover, please. Yep, Councillor Kula, thank you. And seconder, Councillor McWhirter-Brooks. Does any other council wish to speak?
No, all good.
No, thank you.
So you wish to speak on that one? No. Excellent, thank you. So we'll now put that one to the vote, please. 12.2.4, all those in favour? All for? Yes, thank you. 12.2.5, the list of accounts, month ending 31 March 2025, where the recommendation reads that Council 1, pursuant to section 5.232A of the Local Government Act 1995, that the list of payments not be disclosed, and 2, endorses the below payments for the period 1 to 31 March 2025, itemising confidential Appendix 1, EFT payments $724,011.12, MasterCard $18,960.43, cheque payments 0, and direct payments $99,143.48. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor McWhirter Brooks. Seconder, Councillor Everett. Thank you. Councillor McWhirter Brooks, you wish to speak?
No, thanks.
Councillor Everett.
No, thanks.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak? Show of hands, please. All those in favour? Thank you. All for and none against. 12.3.1, the Child Safe Awareness Policy. Recommendation reads that Council adopts the Child Safe Awareness Policy attached as Appendix 1 to this report. A mover, please. Councillor Lockyer, thank you. Seconder, Councillor Everett. Councillor Lockyer, you wish to speak?
No, I'm
Thank
just
you.
in support of this, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Everett.
No, thanks.
Anybody else wish to speak? Shall now put this one to the vote, please. All those in favour? Thank you. All for and none against. 12.3.2, the Annual Community Survey Policy, where the recommendation reads that Council accepts the review and revokes the Annual Community Survey Policy attached as Appendix 1. Mover, please. Councillor Kula. Seconder, Councillor Anderson. Councillor Kula, you wish to speak?
No, nothing to add.
Councillor Anderson.
No, thank you.
Councillor McWhirter Brooks, do you wish to speak?
Yes, I do, please.
Yes,
Can I just reiterate the recommendation from PDC that we include a livability question if we do an annual community survey and communicate that result through to them. Your contact person there would be Director Trish Barron.
Yep, no, we certainly can do that, which would be outside the policy question, but yes,
It's outside
absolutely.
the policy question,
In terms of
yeah,
the
I know,
nature,
but I just needed to
we
put
can
it somewhere
certainly do
so I
that.
didn't forget.
Yep.
Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you. Any other comments? In favour, please, show of hands. Thank you in the chambers. Thank you, Councillor Bear. All for and none against. 12.4.1, the use of native plants, shrubs and grasses policy. Recommendation reads that Council accepts a review and revokes the use of the native plants, shrubs and grasses policy attached as Appendix 1. Mover, please. Councillor Everett, thank you. Seconder, Councillor McWhirter Brooks. Councillor Everett, you wish to speak?
No, thanks.
Councillor McWhirter Brooks.
Just a question, I didn't read this, that this was revoking the policy completely. I thought it does revoke it completely, does it? Okay, because I just wanted to note that we should be favouring Indigenous species first, then native species, then exotic species, if there was nothing else that suited. Thanking you.
Absolutely. So I think some of these policies, as we're reviewing them, they're probably not policies, they're work directives. So obviously we're going to get the most suitable plant, and obviously local is better first. Yeah, but it's more of a work directive.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Those in favour, please show of hands. Thank you. All for and none against. It's revoked. 12.4.2, the Pastoral Stations, Roads and Airstrips Designation and Maintenance Policy, where the recommendation reads that Council accepts a review and review of and revokes the Pastoral Stations, Roads and Airstrips Designation and Maintenance Policy attached as Appendix 1. A mover, please. Councillor McWhirter Brooks. Seconder. Councillor Everett, thank you. Councillor McWhirter Brooks.
I would like to speak.
Yes.
Concerns me that the mum and dad station owners require access into their station, and this is what this policy was originally put in place from. It's probably a policy that was invoked in the days of road boards when our councils were stations and our communities were very small, only consisting of people who held mining tenements or such, or small businesses within. But the reason for this policy is that it is to make sure that people have access into their stations. If we can say that we can make sure that people can have access into their stations, or they have the capacity to achieve their own access into their station, then I would be happy to revoke this. But I just want to note the concern that we are representing all members of our communities, And also, if we are going to provide this service for stations, which are private businesses, we really should be providing this service for all of our Aboriginal communities as well, which is something we cannot. We don't have the money to be able to do that. We don't have the money to be able to make sure that there is clear access for people who can already perhaps provide that themselves. So that is my comment on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Roberta Brooks. Councillor Everett is a seconder.
Nothing to add, thank you.
Does anybody else wish to speak on this one? Yes, Councillor Lockyer.
I'm sorry, Wendy, I'm confused by what your statement was about. Are you in support of revoking this policy, or is it just stating what the policy represents?
Pretty much what the policy represents. The intention is to guarantee that people have access to get food, fuel and medical supplies essentially in and out of their own properties. Yep. So when station owners did not have the capacity to create their own access, then the Shire would provide that assistance. And if you're looking at providing assistance to everybody across our Shire, we need to consider, can we provide access to everybody, not just station owners? I mean, there'll be station owners beating me up in the street, I'm sure, because they have traditionally had preferential access, but we have to make sure that people can get into their properties. And the response is when there's a disaster, Warralong had no access into their property until their access was repaired to get in. Okay. So some of that, these people are expecting maintenance grading of their driveways. I think if it's their driveway, maybe they should have built their business well enough to be able to provide maintenance grading of their driveway.
Can I then ask through the chair to the CEO, what's the plan and how do we get to this decision to try and revoke it?
So I think there's two parts. If you read the policy as it currently stands, what it says is we shall, at cost of the ratepayers, the cost of the money that we don't have, do runway and driveway access. What Wendy's talking about, the second part of your comment about access to getting access to sites, I mean, that is always available anyway. So I think, if you wanted to do something different, I think you need to revoke this as it is now. Your question about what we can afford or can't afford in relation to pastoralist or Aboriginal communities, and we have discussed this other times, is clearly we haven't got enough cash in the bucket to do everything. So if council decides that they say, we want to do have access to driveways and assistance, I mean, if someone needs assistance, really needs assistance, you've got your emergency stuff that happens as part of the DFIS process, and that will happen irrespectively. If it's outside the emergency response part and someone needs assistance, there's no reason why they couldn't put in an application to council for council consideration. That would be the best way for it to happen, because I'm going to say it's a rarity. This policy in my time has never been called upon, and I'm going to say it wasn't called upon a long time before I was here. People aren't taking this up. It's just an old policy. And at the time in 2006, when this was actually last reviewed, there might have been a real good reason for it. But I don't think it is today. I think that's changed a little bit now. So that's why it's in your hands, what you want to do. But at the moment, we're not actually being called upon or doing this work.
So anecdotally, I'm being told that this work is being done when the grader happens to be there. So that obviously is outside the scope of what the expectation is or the direction. So that's something else that needs to be dealt with. The other question that this raises is in the use of our roads and the use of these driveways as a commodity route. So one of the arguments that is put to me often is that how do we get our cattle out safely, with minimal damage to the animals and to themselves on roads that are rough? So that's a question that is asked me, and we're being asked to provide the commodity route for cattle. Now, do we go back and say, well, if the question is then around commodity route of commodities out and diesel and whatever other supplies they need in, should we be treating miners in the same way? Should we it's a business to business, should we be dealing with it in the same way, or should we be making an exception to the mum and dads that may or may not be able to afford it? There's I only count 3 mum and dad stations in our Shire that might, have a business that is small enough that it might need some.
This is a big topic.
I don't know, it's a big topic, but I think it's just.
But in terms of commodity, like there is grants, commodity road grants, and we have actually applied for those. Have had I'm going to say zero success. I think I'm right in saying that, very little success in that. Now we, as the Shire, have the same issue. We have all these public roads, and people just drive all over them. They damage them. I'm talking about mining companies here, and we have no real way of making them pay. We are having some success of recent times in the last, say, 2 or 3 months, where we are getting agreements with mining companies, but it's at the goodness of their heart. Now, I know at the end of the day, there's a benefit for them. They can get their trucks on the roads better. That's why they're spending the money. They're not spending it for the community at large, but the community is the winner when they are doing that work for us. Otherwise, they just drive on our roads, destroy them, and we have no recompense. So there is some stuff happening in that space, but in terms of these other roads, when people are going through properties, that's a little bit more out of our control and jurisdiction. There is commodity road fund. If we're aware of them, we could probably apply for commodity roads, but I don't even know if we would be able to do it on land that's not ours. It's got to be on roads that we control, generally speaking. So certainly I'm very empathetic to that issue. But at the end of the day, you just don't have that much money in the kitty that you can be going off throwing money around doing extra services like this. Unfortunately, that's where we are.
If I can comment as well, it's not just grading, right? That policy states resheeting, which incurs a significant cost additional to grading. So the grading of our roads from the Shire would probably, just grading, maintenance grading, would be in the tens of millions, I would say, right? Resheeting, though, is 196 million. Right? That's a fudge figure. So
Our roads.
that's our roads, right? So all I was just putting that into perspective is that the cost increases significantly with resheeting than just grading. And this policy states that we will use our machinery and to grade and resheet. That's a lot of work and a lot of money. That's all I wanted to know.
I think to answer your question, Lou, previously said, what's the way forward? And this is in the councillors, this is your decision to make. This was historic, there was a reason for it at the time. It's probably outdated now by a long shot. If there's other needs that we need to fulfil, you probably need to revoke this so that you can start with a clean slate, is what I would suggest. If there's other concerns that you want to address in some way or form, but then there'd have to be some way of testing whether that's best value for money for the community at large, and because it's them paying the money out of the rates, right? So any grading work we do is not funded by grants. It's funded by your uni funds. Resheeting is the only stuff that we get for funding for grants on. So whatever decision you make around grading on other things apart from our roads, it is ratepayers' money. It is not grant money, just to be really clear. So I would think the best thing would be to revoke, but that's just my personal view. You've got to make up your own mind on this. And then if you want to do something else, go back and do something else. Sorry.
No, you're right. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. And I guess you've answered what I wanted to sort of understand around the why. And I guess we just need to be able to continue to consider what the long-term effect could be to those I guess, communities and stations out there. And we always talk about how we're the biggest Shire and all of this roads are our biggest issue. We need to be able to think of ways that we can, try and ensure that they're safe and kept and maintained in a way that it's a long term rather than year by year by year for budgeting purposes. But this wouldn't affect that. So, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments before we proceed? Thank you. Shall now put 12.4.2 to the vote, please. All those in favour, show of hands. Thank you. All for and none against. 13.1.1, the minutes of the Local Emergency Management Committee's April 2025. So the officer's recommendation reads that Council notes the minutes of the meetings of the Shire of East Pilbara Local Emergency Management Committees held as follows. Marble Bar, 2 April 25. Nullagine, 3 April 25 and Newman, 4 April 25. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor McWhirter-Brooks and seconder, Councillor Anderson. Councillor McWhirter-Brooks, you wish to speak?
Nothing to add, thank you.
Councillor Anderson.
Sorry, nothing to add.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Show of hands, please. All those in favour? All for and none against. It's carried. We're on 14, where is nil motions for which previous notice has been given and 15 nil questions by members for which due notice has been given. We go on to 16, new business of an urgent nature introduced by a decision of council. 2 late items have been circulated to council members. Item 16.1.1 is a report for council to consider swapping the location of 30 May and 25 July 2025 ordinary council meetings. And item 17.1.1 is a report for council to consider a recommendation to seek expressions of interest for the disposal of land. I move that council consider these items 16.1.1 and 17.1.1 as new business of urgent nature. Is there a seconder, please? Councillor McWhirter-Brooks. Thank you. Would the seconder like to speak on this motion?
No, thank you.
Does any other councillor wish to speak on these? Thank you. Shall I now put this to the vote, please, for these to be included? All for and none against. Thank you. So please have a look at 16.1.1, the changing of the ordinary council meeting for 30 May and 25 July 2025. The Office of Recommendation reads that Council 1 adopts the following date, times, places for the ordinary council meeting of 30 May and 25 July 2025, 30 May 2025, Newman at 10:30am and 25 July 2025 at Punmu at 10:30. 2, publishes the updated places of the May and July 2025 ordinary council meetings in accordance with Regulation 12.2 of the Local Government Administration Regulations of 1996. Can we get a mover, please? Councillor McWhirter-Brooks. Seconder. Councillor Lockyer. Thank you. Councillor McWhirter-Brooks, you wish to speak.
Yes, I just want to ask, do we have consideration on holding a meeting at Nullagine later in the year? Thank you.
Through the chair, the Nullagine meeting is scheduled to take place for June. So that was agreed to by council in November.
Appeased? Happy? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Lockyer is a seconder. Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Show of hands, please. Those in favour? Councillor Bear, yes, thank you. All for and none against. 17.1.1, the disposal of land, expressions of interest process.
And I haven't seen this agenda item. Am I able to get it forwarded so I can at least read it before we discuss or make a decision?
Josh is onto that now.
Thank you.
Right, I'll just go through this here. Sorry, 17 is confidential matters behind closed doors. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Lockyer and Councillor McWhirter-Brooks. To go behind closed doors. I now put that to the vote, please. All those in favour? Thank you. Councillor Cool, are you in favour? Yes, thank you. The time now is 11:04am and the meeting is now closed to the public. Can the government staff please confirm the live stream has been stopped? public, can the government staff please confirm the live streaming has recommenced? Thank you. For the benefit of those watching the live stream and those of you who have returned to the gallery, Council made the following decisions during the closed session. Item 17.1.1, proposed disposal of land expressions of interest process. That Council, where the recommendation reads that the Council, 1, endorses the undertaking the public expression of interest or public tender process for a lease subject to agreed conditions for up to 20 years over lot 702, 300 Les Tut Drive, Newman, in accordance with the draft community and commercial tenancies policy, and 2, request the Chief Executive Officer to invite aged care and home care service providers to lodge expressions of interest articulating the level of service they will provide the district of the East Pilbara. This resolution passed 6 in favour and 0 against. The decision will be incorporated in the minutes of today's meeting and published on the Shire's website for our community and general public to be confirmed at the 30 May 2025 Ordinary Council meeting. With item 18 coming up is the next meeting, which is 30 May 2025, which will be held in Newman. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Closure for item 19, there being no further business, I now declare the Shire of East Pilbara OCM 2 May 2025 closed at 11:15 a.m. I'd like to thank everybody for their attendance today.